What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? We had a great day in the market today. Market sentiment was amazing, and we had a few key things happen today. So I ain't gonna hold y'all long. We're gonna get straight into it. But I have the S&P 500 pulled up right here. For those of you that are new, the S&P 500 pretty much is an index that tracks the top 500 companies in the United States by market cap. So when you're talking about the S&P 500, this essentially represents the stock market. So when you see the S&P 500 up, that means the stock market did. That means the stock market is up. Overall, the stock market is doing good. When you see it down, that means the stock market is not doing so good as a whole. So when you hear people talk about the S&P 500, they're usually talking about the stock market as a whole. You got me? So S&P 500, man, S&P 500. If you watched my video yesterday when I talked about some earnings coming up, you've seen over the last 5 days, man, we have been in a little bit of downtrend. We've been in a little bit of downtrend. The S&P 500 was down, the Dow Jones was down, Nasdaq was down. But today, S&P 500, the stock market is up 1.83%, up $107 on a day for the S&P 500, and that's great. So I know y'all been out here working, y'all been busy. So I'm gonna let y'all know, if you haven't been paying attention to the news, what caused the market sentiment to get so good today, man? What caused this appreciation? What caused the price to go up? Well, today we had earnings. We had earnings, great earnings coming through the financial sector, and we had several banks come in and not just meet earnings. We had banks come in and beat earnings. We had banks come in and beat earnings with one kind of meeting expectations, but most of the banks that beat earnings, they knocked it out of the park. So let's get into that really fast. First one bank was JPMorgan. Their EPS, again, I did a video a couple days ago. If you don't know what EPS is earnings per share. It's a metric that you can use to kind of gauge the profitability of a company, their corporate value. If you want to know more about that, I'll link that video at the end. So check that out if you want to know about EPS. It's a very important metric that you should know about. But JP Morgan, their EPS increased to $4.81, increasing, not increasing, but beating analyst expectations of $4.09. Their revenue increased by 11% to 42.77 billion. That's amazing. Goldman Sachs, their EPS increased to $11.95, higher than analyst expectations of $8.21. Their revenue rose by 23% to 13.87 billion. Wells Fargo, their EPS rose slightly to $1.43, slightly ahead of expectations of $1.42. So they just beat analyst expectations, just beat it, but their revenue actually decreased by 0.5% to 20.38 billion, missing the anticipated 20.58 billion. So they slipped a little bit there. But it's okay. That's okay. Citigroup, the earnings per share increased to $1.34, improving from a loss of $1.16 per share last year. Their revenue increased by 12% to 19.58 billion. Also, they announced a $20 billion stock repurchase program. For those who don't know, when companies do stock buybacks, they're taking shares off the table. They're taking shares out of the market. They're buying shares back. And for those of you that are holding, that's usually good, especially in the short term, sending the value of the stocks remaining up in value. So stock buybacks are always good. That's also telling us that Citigroup, they having some excess money, man. They having some good free cash flow. They having some money over there to be able to buy these stocks back. They're doing good. They're profitable. BlackRock, their earnings per share up to $11.93, up 23% from last year. Revenue jumped 23% to 5.68 billion. So the financial sector is doing okay. The financial sector is doing great right now. And that's good, man. That's good. That gave the market a positive sentiment. Our financial sector is doing okay. And that's good for the economy. That's good for the economy. What else happened today? CPI inflation numbers came out. CPI inflation numbers came out, and they pretty much met expectations. It ticked up to 2.9%, which is what we were expecting. So that's a good thing. A win is a win. A win is a win. It ticked up a little bit, but we were expecting it. This 2.9% increase was also actually a slowdown from what we've had over the past couple of months. So that was good. And things that caused it to tick up were things like auto insurance, air travel, things like that are still heavy when it comes to inflation, really pushing that inflation. Also, Crypto had an amazing day. Crypto had an amazing day. I think last time I looked, Bitcoin had hit 100,000. XRP had touched $3. Solana $200. Hey man, crypto is up. The stock market is up. The market sentiment is great all the way across the board. Also, President Biden announced a ceasefire in Gaza. That's always great for the markets. We don't want war. We don't want fear and uncertainty. And we just had a good day, man. We had a good day, and those were some of the catalysts that we had go on today that I believe, gave us good market sentiment, man, and helped us get some good forward momentum going into the end of the week. We got more earnings tomorrow coming from TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, a monster in the semiconductor space. So if you got value from this video, man, please like. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Please like, help me grow, and be able to kick this game to more people, man. I'll see you on the next one.